Hello, my name is Sheldon Peregrino from Perebay Theater Productions. Our theater concept is called Midsummer at the Bradbury.
I'm Matthew Shaugabay, and this is our theatrical concept for Midsummer at the Bradbury.
Our theater concept focuses on the themes of transformation and change. The lovers and the fairies represent individuals who seek to have their passions honored and their voices heard. We will set our production of A Midsummer Night's Dream in the late 19th century, when the entire world transitions into the 20th century. The Bradbury Building in downtown Los Angeles will be the site of our production. Built in 1893, the Bradbury's interior space and architecture will be the perfect setting to support our themes of transformation and change at the end of the 19th century. Our plan for incorporating theatrical elements such as costume, lighting, and staging will also express themes of transformation and change. With the theme of transformation and change, our production will highlight both the women's movement and the life of LGBT individuals in the late 19th century, a period in American society when individuals had to repress their identity and live in the shadows in order to survive.
This takes place in 1893 in downtown Los Angeles. This is just 2 decades after the National Women's Suffrage Association was founded in 1869. Women employed in the United States increased from 2.6 million to 7.8 million between 1880 and 1910. Women in the United States did not gain the right to vote until the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1919. More than a century later, in the year 2020, women are still fighting for respect and equality in the workplace. At the end of the 19th century, same-sex relationships were still considered immoral and illegal. Many were forced to live in the shadows and hide their true identity in fear of public persecution. Marriage and love could only be between man and woman. Doctors and psychiatrists during this era also began looking for ways to reverse the same-sex desire. The first LGBT rights movement in the United States was not formally recognized until 1924 with the Society of Human Rights in Chicago. However, persecution and hostility continued towards the LGBT community. The Stonewall riots in 1969 marked a pivotal movement for the LGBT movement to shed more light on police harassment and social discrimination. As the LGBTQ movement continues, less people will have to live in the shadows.
The two contrasting tones of the production will be serious and whimsical. We will highlight the seriousness and rigidity of the world and the environment where these characters exist and now they have to suppress their true identity and passions. A whimsical world will be introduced when the lovers enter a dream world at night, where they can experience a freedom to express their true selves and to see the possibilities of change.
The central image will be the glass atrium of the building's ceiling, and it will reference the moon. The moon is ever present, and each character is aware of the moon's powerful presence. The moon can affect our logic, moods, and desires. The moon is also a reference for a passage of time, and it will also guide each character's own journey. The moon itself becomes a character in the play within the play. Our themes of transformation and change will be supported by the contrasting worlds that society accepts and rejects. The symmetry and order of the building will represent the rigidity of the society. The land of the fairies will embody the fantasy of freedom of self-expression and identity.
One color palette represents a rigid society. This includes colors of the building interiors such as grays, browns, whites, and blacks.
Shades of purple will dominate the land of fairies through lighting. Purple garments were reserved for royalty because of the expensive natural source of color. Shades of purple became a popular color in fashion during the late 19th century because of the invention of a variety of synthetic dyes.
The costumes for the lovers will reflect a transition during the late Victorian era. Women were still bounded by a tight corset to create a tiny waist, but also started incorporating the lines of men's tailored jackets to reflect their growing confidence in society and their yearn for female liberation. Actors playing fairies will look like various architectural details and surfaces of the building, so they will blend into the space and be invisible. The fairies will also have steampunk elements incorporated in their costume.
Steampunk style is a reimagined alternative of blending the Victorian era with the technological advances during the Industrial Revolution. Futuristic and mechanical parts are incorporated in the costume.
Here are some examples of costumes and makeup for the fairies. The camouflage look will blend with the interior of the building. Here is a rendering of what a camouflage costume would look like for one of the fairies. Here are some examples of the props that we will be using for the production. A magic elixir or snake oil. This will represent the magic flower that is used on the lovers in Queen Titania. Elevator keys. The fairies will use the keys to assist the audience when they use the elevators to travel between levels.
An industrial ass headpiece. This will represent the headpiece Bottom wears in Act 3, Scene 1. Lighting design. The lighting design will feature architectural components of the building that include the glass atrium, the elevators, and the staircase. The land of the fairies where the lovers go to will be bathed in a magical fantasy of purple hues. This will contrast the symmetrical and industrial look of the building.
The first and second level will be the land of the fairies bathed in purple hues. Our production will be a site-specific production. The opening scene will be on the 5th level of the building. The following scenes will continue downwards, with the first and second level being the land of the fairies. The special and unique aspects of our production is that all the lovers will be played by female identifying actors. The characters' names will be Hermia, Helena, Demetria, and Liza.
All the fairies will be played by male identifying actors, including Titania. Audience will travel to different floors of the building by using the elevator or stairs to view each scene.
Our total budget proposal is at $217,000. This is for 45 days of production and broken down to 30 days of rehearsal, 1 day of tech, and 14 days of shows. The building space rental and permits for 17 days is estimated at $25,500. The director will be paid $3,000. The overall designer payment will be $3,000, and that includes costume, makeup, and lighting. The materials for costume and makeup is estimated at $4,000. The actors, with a cast total of 26, will be a total of $93,000. The production crew, with a total number of 11 crew, will be paid $5,000. The lighting equipment rental total is $81,450. The marketing for the production will be estimated at $1,100. Thank you.